A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I seek refuge with Allah Almighty from Satan, the rejected one. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. By the name of Allah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wasallam. Inshallah, today we will study 36th Ruku of Surah Al-Baqarah. However, first of all, let's recall what we studied in the previous Ruku. First thing, events in this universe are not taking place automatically, but everything is being managed by a competent authority who created them, and that is Allah Almighty. Number two, like human beings, towns and cities also live and die. However, whenever they are upraised, the place may be same, but they will have a new layout, a new shape, according to the prevailing environments and dictates. Number three, observation is a must for the satisfaction of the heart. Let's start our today's session by praying from Allah Almighty that He gives us true understanding of the Holy Quran by the grace of Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Surah Al-Baqarah, Ruku number 36, and that is from verses 261 to 266. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Masalul ladhina yunfikuna amwalahum fi sabilillah. The example of those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah. Kamasale habbatin ambatat sab'a sanabil. Like a grain which grows 7 spikes. Fi kulle sumbalatin me'atu habba. In each spike there are 100 grains. Wallahu jazaifu liman yasha. And Allah multiplies for whom He wills. Wallahu wasiun alim. And Allah is all-encompassing and all-knowing. Habba, the first underlined word, grain, or we may call it a seed even. Ambatat, which grows. Sanabela, ears, or shoot. Jozaifu, gives manifold, multiplies. Now this verse tells us that spending possessions in Allah's way is like sowing a seed that brings 7 shoots, and each shoot bears 100 grains. Now that's how Allah Almighty increases the reward up to 700 times. Now the exponential of this reward depends upon purity of intent and in following the prescribed method for this purpose. Now this spending can be 2 ways, covertly and overtly, or we may say openly or discreetly, as mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah, that is chapter 2, verse 274. Those who spend their wealth by night and by day, secretly and publicly, they will have their reward with the Lord, and there will be no fear on them, nor will they grieve. Alladhina yunfikuna amwalahum fi sabilillah. Those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah. Summa la yutbeuna ma anfaku mannam wala azan. They don't follow what they spent with the reminders of generosity nor a hurt. Lahum ajruhum inda rabbihim. For them is the reward with their Lord. Wala khawfun alayhim wala hum yahzanun. And there will be no fear on them, and nor will they grieve. The first underlined word, yunfikun. They spend, they use. Amwalahum, their property, their possessions, their wealth. Yutbeun, they trail or they follow. Mannan, as bountiness, as generosity. Azan, a injury, a hurt. We may call it even a disgrace or disrespect. This verse explains extremely important point about spending the wealth in Allah's way. And Allah's way is to give to His creations without any discrimination and without seeking any reward, any return, or any obligation, as He is free of all needs. Therefore, those people who want to earn exponential reward, they are not to follow their givings with reminders of their generosity or hurt the feelings of the needy people. Surah Rum, that is chapter 30, verse 38 states, "So give what is due to the kindled, the needy, and the wayfarer. That is best for those who seek the countenance of Allah, and it's they who would prosper." So such people would receive their reward from Allah Almighty in the shape that there will be no fear of anything, nor shall they grieve about anything. قول معروف ومغفرة خير من صدقة يتبعها أذى. A kind word and forgiveness are better than charity followed by a hurt. Wallahu Ghaniyyun Halim, and Allah is free of need and forbearing. Qawlun Maruf, kind speech. Maghfirah, giving safeguard or covering faults. And we need to understand this word properly. Maghfirah, primarily it's a precaution to avoid ill effects of bad deeds. It's similar to taking an umbrella while going out of home to protect ourselves from the rain. Or we can say that's like getting vaccinated against a disease. Now, when we seek maghfirat from Allah Almighty, it means that we make a request for protection of Allah from the ill effects of evil deeds that are found within us and in the society. So its verbal form is the word of mouth, but its practical form is that no one should be harmed by our words or by our actions. Now we continue with the meaning of the words which are underlined. The third underlined word is sadaqah, donation, or something given as generosity. And the last underlined word, halim, tolerant, lenient, or we may call it forbearing. So kind words and respecting the people's honor is better than a charity, after which dignity of recipient is hurt. We shall remember the way of Allah. He provides everyone without seeking any reward or favor. He is free of all needs. He is self-sufficient and forbearing. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tubtilu sadaqatikum bil manni wal adha. O you who have believed, don't invalidate your charities with its reminders and hurt. Kalladhi yunfiqu malu riya an-nasi wala yuminu billahi wal yawmil akhir. Like the one who spends his wealth to be seen by the people and doesn't believe in Allah Almighty and the day of hereafter. The first underlined word, tubtilu, render in vain, or we can say invalidate. Riya, to be seen, show off. O believers, don't invalidate your charities by stressing the favor you have done or by hurting the self-respect of the one you have helped. This type of behavior contradicts true belief and love recompense. Charity is meant to help the people and not to disgrace them or to hurt them. This is done by those who don't believe in Allah and the day of hereafter. They give charity to show off their wealth and maybe to be known as generous. The verse continues, فَمَثَلُهُ كَمَثَلِ صَفْوَانٍ عَلَيْهِ تُرَابٌ. So his example is like that of a smooth rock, upon it is dust. فَأَصَابَهُ وَابِلٌ فَتَرَكَهُ صَلْدًا. Then befall on it a downpour that leaves it bare. لَا يَقْدِرُونَ عَلَى شَيْءٍ مِّمَّا كَسَبُوا. They don't have control on anything what they earned. وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْكَافِرِينَ. And Allah doesn't guide disbelieving people. The first underlined word, Safwan, a large smooth stone. Wabilon, a heavy rain. Salda, bare, naked. Yakderun, they have control. No charity or help that is aimed at show of wealth is like a rock which has a very thin layer of soil. So it's difficult for any seed to grow there. However, in case of a rain, it is bound to be washed away, leaving the rock totally bare. Therefore, such effort doesn't bear any fruit. And the right path doesn't appear before such like people. When such like people see how their efforts have gone waste, they exclaim, as mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah, that is chapter 56, verse 66 and 67. We are indeed left with debts. Nay, we are deprived. وَمَثَلُ الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ وَتَثْبِيتًا مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ. And the example of those who spend their wealth seeking consent of Allah and steady themselves. كَمَثَلِ جَنَّةٍ بِرَبْوَةٍ أَصَابَهَا وَابِلٌ فَآتَتْ أُكُلَهَا ضِعْفَيْنِ is like a garden on a height. Befalls on it a downpour, so it yields its fruits in double. Abtega, seeking. Marzatillah, consent, or we can say the liking of Allah. Tasbitan, stabilize, strengthen. Jannah, a garden. Birabwa, on a high ground, on a plateau. Ukolaha, its harvest. So on the other hand, those people who spend their wealth sincerely seeking likings of Allah Almighty and to strengthen their own self, their example is like a garden on a high ground, which will yield twofold its harvest if it receives a heavy rain. The verse continues, فَإِلَّمْ يُصِبْهَا وَابِلٌ فَطَلْ. Then if doesn't befall on it a downpour, so a drizzle is sufficient. وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. And Allah Almighty of what you do is all-seeing. Fatal, then a light shower or a light rain. Now this garden will produce a harvest even if it rains lightly. Allah Almighty sees all what we do. Now such people have achieved self-actualization and made themselves truly worthy of Allah's favor. It can be said that anything which has share for everyone is long-lasting. Therefore, those who share their wealth with the needy people and serve the humanity with humility, they are likely to succeed. أَيَوَدُّ أَحَدُكُمْ أَن تَكُونَ لَهُ جَنَّةٌ مِّن نَخِيلٍ وَأَعْنَابٍ. Would any of you like that for him is a garden of palm trees and grapevines, تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِ الْأَنْهَارُ لَهُ فِيهَا مِن كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ, flowing its underneath streams, for him in it are all fruits. وَأَصَابَهُ الْكِبَرُ وَلَهُ ذُرِّيَّةٌ ضُعَفَاءُ. And befalls on him old age, while his children are very weak. Ayavaddu, the first underlined phrase, would like. Nakhil, date palms. Anab, grapevines. Al-Kibaru, old age. Zurriya, children or offspring. Now, does anyone wishes to be in a situation of a man who has a garden of dates and grapes, with streams flowing therein, and he is self-assured that he and his children will have a secure future? However, while age catches up with him, and he has children who are very young and very weak. The verse continues, فَأَصَابَهَا إِسْحَارٌ فِيهِ نَارٌ فَاحْتَرَقَتْ. Then falls on it a whirlwind. In it is a fire, so it's burned. The garden is burned. كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمُ الْآيَاتِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Thus, Allah makes clear for you signs so that you may ponder. The first underlined word is Isar, twister, a tornado. Second underlined word, fahtarakat, then it's burnt. The last underlined word, tatafakkarun, you reflect, you contemplate. One day, a fiery wind strikes this garden and it's all destroyed. Just imagine what will happen to that man and his children. So in this way, Allah Almighty makes His signs, or we may say laws, very clear so that you may reflect. We shall remember that anything which is only for oneself is a deception, while the contribution that one makes to the society ensures for him a garden which neither a tornado nor a hurricane will destroy. A brief summary of the Ruku we just concluded. Spending possession in the way of Allah is like sowing a seed that brings 7 shoots, and each shoot bears 100 grains, an exponential increase. Allah's way is to serve His creations without any discrimination, not seeking any return nor any obligation. It's not the amount that is to be spent, but it's the intent which matters. Kind words and safeguarding is better than giving charity, which is followed by stressing the favor and hurt the feeling of those helped. The one giving charity for show off renders his deed worthless. His effort would not bear any fruit for him in the hereafter. And anything which has a share for everyone prospers. And the people who spend their wealth to seek Allah's pleasure as per His way, they do succeed. On the other hand, anything which is not shared with others is likely to perish. May Allah Almighty grant us true understanding of the Holy Quran, and may we act upon it according to the pattern of Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. Sadaqallahu al-aliyyul azim. Allah spoke truth. Allah, the exalted, the great. Sallallahu ta'ala ala habibihi Muhammadin wa alihi wasallam.